Since when did politics become a football game? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but voting used to be something that we took seriously. You know, it was something to to not choose sides based off of of a label, but rather of policy. Well, it's not like that anymore. It's you have to watch to get the full truth of anything. You have to watch Fox, and then you have to watch CNN. And then you have to put a sentence together based off of the subject and the predicate from both of them. And this is what I mean. One side will say what's going on, and the other side might say why it's going on. But nobody ever tells the entire story. We live in a very partisan society, and they don't even do a good job of camouflaging it. I mean, at least in the past, people tried to act like, hey, I'm concerned about everybody. Nobody does now. Nobody even gives the indication that that their side can be wrong. I think about the Elizabeth Warren thing, and again, the Elizabeth Warren situation was not something that was it wasn't fatal to anybody. I mean, it was highly embarrassing for her. She got her pride checked, and she fell into a trap, and then did the little DNA test and found out that she's about as black or about as Native American as E.T. is human. It was embarrassing. But she appropriated an entire culture to advance her own career. And what the Democrats do is they shut up about it. They're like, well, no, there is no well, no more than when Trump says something stupid. Why can't people just stand up for justice? Why does it have to be selective justice? I could respect somebody who buried their own when their own was in the wrong. I could really respect a human being that could call out something that was wrong and try to correct it if it was on their side, than somebody who tries to provide soft padding. Let me give Elizabeth Warren a soft padded landing. Let me give Donald Trump a soft padded landing. The one thing I'll say about Trump is he's very unapologetic. I mean, if he says something stupid, he stands by his stupidity 120%. But other people don't do that. There's a lot of wishy-washy people out there that aren't interested in justice. They're interested in agenda. And when you call people out on it, I get on Facebook from time to time and I call people, I call situations out. Sometimes I generalize, and I know that every situation shouldn't be put under one umbrella. I get that. I understand that. But I'm not a politician. What I am is a normal, everyday, blue-collar guy with an opinion. So anything that I omitted, any information that I might have been ignorant to, I apologize. I don't know everything. If you're more well-versed, just correct me and let's keep it moving. My goal is not to be right. My goal is to gain information. I say that from time to time. But there absolutely is no accountability. When I look at certain Democratic strongholds, as an African American, I've got vested interest in some things that are very culturally specific. I don't see anything being done by them that's beneficial. But when you point that out, somebody comes with some statistic that isn't always in the ballpark of truth. And it usually begins with, well, you have to understand. I don't have to understand anything except the facts. When I see a pattern, I question the pattern that I'm seeing. I ask, am I seeing this correctly? Now, to give you some history on me, I come from a long line of Democrats. Not a Republican in the family. Not a single Republican in the family. But you know, my mom couldn't tell you why she's Democrat. My father, love him to death, still thinks it's the 60s. Still thinks African Americans today are the same as the African Americans then. Not even close. I have family members that believe if a candidate is black, somehow they are completely absolved of any evil. And if they commit any evil, they were somehow influenced by somebody white. I have relatives, I have people that believe that. I have people that can't call, their own party out on their own bullshit. And I have conservative friends that will do the exact same thing. They will do the exact same thing. When I question them about their position on health care for the elderly, which is something that I'm pretty passionate about, and you give them the facts, they say, no, it's not like that. I do that to a Democrat. No, it's not like that. Well, what planet are you from? And is my world just so small that I can't see the bigger picture? California is a shithole, and Maxine Waters is the commander-in-chief of that state. And if not the commander-in-chief of that state, she's a strong official. And people say, well, it begins at a local level. Well, damn, there's local government. And from top to bottom, it's democratic. Did you know that there is an actual shit app? There's a shit app for California. I think it's San Francisco. It lets you know where there are massive amounts of human feces. But sometimes, when talking to liberals, they provide this soft padding of an excuse. And let's get one thing straight. A reason is something you can stand beside. An excuse is something that you have to hide behind. And there's a difference. These people provide soft, comfy landings for the very people that are screwing them. It's almost impossible to even live in California unless you're desperately poor or just absurdly rich. You got people in Silicon Valley that are living in their cars, taking a shower at the Y, and then going to work. Students going to school, and then going back to their cars. And when I say, hey, I'm an outsider looking in, how come this seems to be the case with democratic cities? Conservative places have their share of problems as well. But I focus on liberals, I think, so much. It's not because I'm pro-conservative, because, I'm like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Everybody can get a stunner that deserves one. Hell, sometimes you get a stunner when you don't deserve one, just to keep you on your toes. That's the kind of person I am. But I focus on liberals because they claim to be the moral compass of everything. Yet a lot of times their actions are anything but. But as long as they have a killer smile, are easy on the eyes, and say, I understand, nobody even holds them to their actions. Nobody even questions their actions. I'm more into what somebody is doing than what they're saying, because everybody's saying a lot of stuff. Everybody's saying a lot of things to get that vote. That's what they do. But it's like we don't even care what they do after they get in office. We remember what they said. I remember what he said to me. I remember what she said to me. And by gosh, I think she really meant it, even though he or she did nothing. Great. Now, I do understand the original role of the government was not to be over everything. I realize that. Not many Americans understand that. The role of the original government was not to babysit states. But the smaller forms of government, from a local level all the way up to a mid-range, a mid-level, do have that responsibility. And yes, they are party affiliated. Yes, they are. At a local level, things have to be passed. And the leaders are always of political affiliations. And because of that, there is a certain degree of responsibility that should be on their shoulders. They should have to deliver. They should have to deliver on their word. Is there such a thing as a politician? I say politician, a person in politics. Because I know exactly what a politician is. A politician is business as usual. But is there such a thing as a person in politics that will call out wrong wherever there's wrong, whether it's their own party, whether it's the other party? Is that such a novel approach to things? I don't know why it should be. I mean, if it is, I guess it is, but I don't really understand why it should be. I think a new concept in politics should be anybody can get it. If you're in the wrong, you can get it. If you're not being forthright, you can get it. I think that should be the new style of politics. And then I think we should work from there. Identify problems. Fix problems. But always have a destination. Always have a plan. Always know what is my goal. What is my objective? And our goal as voters, as the public, should be to get these people to hold their word. Anyway, I'm done with this rant. I was on one this morning, but I'm glad I could exercise that demon. As always, thank you for listening. This is another Empirical Planet podcast /opinion. And until the next time.